And for this next fight, if you ask me, we got a bit of a squash match here with Eryk Anders versus Jamie Pickett. Eryk Anders seems like this is a rebound fight for him. Longtime UFC veteran. He's been up and down in the UFC. He's 7-8-1 overall. Had some good wins, but lost 3 of his last 4 fights. Even in his losses, he never really performs badly, but he probably needs to win here for sure to keep his job. I mean, a loss to Jamie Pickett, 4 in his last 5, probably going to get cut off that. But Jamie Pickett, he's lost 4 in a row in the UFC, so it's been over 2 years since the last time he won a fight. He's 2-6 overall. I think the UFC keeps him around because he's willing to fight anyone, anytime, anywhere. He'll take short notice fights, but obviously 4 losses in a row, I don't see him hanging around after 0-5. So this is a make or break fight for both guys. I think their jobs are on the line. And Jamie Pickett has kind of been the guy to me that has shown more of that in his training. He's taken his training up a notch for this fight. He's had a full camp. He normally hasn't had that with the UFC. He's training with Jim O Tribe in North Carolina, which has other UFC fighters that are similar to Eryk Anders actually. So his training and coaches are going to be a notch above normal for him. And for Eryk Anders, he's had his camps recently, or at least some of them, at Fight Ready MMA, and he's gone to bigger, more established gyms, kind of just getting some training in. But I believe for this camp, he's stayed in Alabama at Spartan Fitness Academy, which is his original gym. And he's been doing some commentary work, different things. So I feel like he might not be taking this fight as serious. I mean, hard to say because he would be dumb not to, but maybe he thinks he can beat someone like Pickett with less sacrifices. But Anders did recently become a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and I think that he's going to be looking to use his grappling in this fight, maybe find that submission if he can. Hasn't had a submission in a long time. But style-wise, you look at these guys, Jamie Pickett, well-conditioned guy, super long reach. He's going to have a 82-inch reach, which is, he's going to have a 7-inch reach advantage. But he brings the pressure. He tries to throw long jabs, straight punches, crash into the clinch, and he uses his length, his cardio, and clinch to kind of control and wear out guys when he can get them, when he can make fights his way. And when he's forced on the back foot, he really struggles. He doesn't really offer much going backwards. Doesn't have great hands. He will throw some side kicks, but no real heat to the kicks to me. His last fight, he was doing a better job of landing his right body kick and some rear crosses, backing up, but I don't really see him ever becoming a great striker. And he doesn't have power or finishing instincts in the striking department, so I feel like he has to rely more on grinding things out. He does have a good chin, but his defense isn't really that good either. But Pickett isn't a bad wrestler. I feel like Anders probably could take him down. I mean, he got out-wrestled by Dawkins, but Pickett seems like he's getting better in that department. And he has good training partners, like I said, at the output to work with to try to mimic Eryk Anders. Like, he has Chris Weidman, southpaw pressure guy, that's in there with him that could potentially mimic him a little bit. He has John Salter, also a southpaw grappler. So those guys are good looks to have when you're going to be fighting someone like Eryk Anders in your camp. But I feel like Pickett, if he gets put on his back here, he's going to be in trouble. I don't know if he'll get finished, but I think he'll get easily dominated, and there is a potential of a finish. And I just don't see him, more than likely, I just don't know if he's going to be able to use that clinch work and grind out a guy like Anders who's that physical. I feel like Anders is going to be able to, on the inside, use that dirty boxing, his size advantage and strength advantage. And Anders usually does good when he fights this mid-tier level competition. He's durable. He could take shots. He's a pressure fighter. His wrestling isn't great, but he's good at cage pushing on guys. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see Anders get takedowns in this fight. He hasn't been the most prolific finisher in the UFC, but if he can use his explosiveness, throw those big punches, get Pickett backing up, get Pickett kind of looking for the way out, then get on top of him. I think Pickett maybe will give him that out. Pickett seems like when things get tough, he will look for the door a little bit. So this fight could be a finish for Anders if he fights to his maximum capacity. But just like I was talking about earlier, I don't know if he's going to be at his same level that he is when he goes and trains at Fight Ready and things like that. So I could see this fight also kind of becoming a 3-round clinch fest too. So officially, I'm going to say Anders wins via decision here. And I think he's a pretty safe guy you could parlay up this week. I don't see a lot of path to victory for Pickett here. I just don't think he has the ability to knock Anders out unless it's kind of just a freak thing. And I think Anders can out-grapple him too.